There we go. Amateur hour around here. Your Missouri football Tigers are 4-0 after beating South Carolina 29-20, a blackout game. A game that was played under the lights. It was the first time in a long time that Missouri has had an SEC game under the lights in Columbia, Missouri, and it paid off. The fans showed out. The students showed out. And your Missouri football Tigers are 4-0. 1-0 in conference play. Dean Bryant, what's up? Thank you to everybody hanging out with me in the chat here. Go ahead and get some... Whoops. Wrong button. I meant to hit you with one of these, Dean.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for hanging out. Let me know in the chat where you guys are hanging out at. D-Mac Wade starting it off with run the damn ball. That is the motto of the 2025 undefeated Missouri Tigers. You are damn right, D-Mac. You are damn right. Dean, I didn't have my play sheet up. That one's on me. Miscommunication from the coach's end to my end. Didn't have my play sheet up of what my buttons were. What sheet I was on. We were on different pages there. My bad. It was a great game. Thank you everybody joining me here. We'll talk about this game here. Missouri does win 29-20 over the South Carolina Gamecocks. Man, I saw you guys talking about this in the chat, and I cannot agree with you guys more. These games against South Carolina, my blood pressure always goes up after these. I've got to crack open a couple cold ones during these games to calm me down. I mean, every time we play South Carolina, it is actually brutal. That's a great point, Dean. I could just say it was for South Carolina. That. You know what? Shane Beamer gets one of these. Oh, tough start to the season for Shane Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Tough start. Tyler says, I want to keep playing South Carolina. Yeah, we'll have an announcement on the scheduling. We'll talk about that on once we do get that. I think that'll be really interesting to see. Gabe, you can't see the stream. Sorry. Defense played great. Offense played good. I was really impressed with the defense in some regards. The coverage was less than ideal. We'll talk about it here, but the Missouri Tigers 4-0, guys. Your Missouri Tigers are 4-0 heading into homecoming week this next week. We got UMass and then Alabama. Alabama comes to town, and they made Lenora Sellers, the Missouri defense, made Lenora Sellers look not like he would have been the best quarterback in the draft. And look, I will say Lenora Sellers played a lot better today than what he played in the previous 2 games, or previous 3 games. However, I think there's 3 they've played. But it wasn't good enough to beat this Missouri team. He still made some throws when he had to. Wasn't enough. Lenore Sellers on the day, 18 for 28, 302 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's a 64% completion percentage, 178.5 rating there for him. He also had negative 28 rushing yards. That does include sacks. Brian H. makes this point in the comments. -9 rushing yards for South Carolina. Yes, minus 9 yards for Carolina. That is absolutely brutal. That's the one that's going to stick out to you on the stat sheet, right? When we look at these, when we compare these stats, when we go to the team comparisons of 302 pass yards and -9 rush yards for South Carolina is how their total offense breaks down. So their total yards was 293 to Missouri's 456. Missouri had 456 yards of total offense, 285 of it coming on the ground. This was a great game. They ran the damn ball. Penalties, Demetrius brings it up. Penalties were big for South Carolina. It's crazy. It's crazy. They had over 100 yards in penalty yards. Yeah, looking at the penalties here, I had it pulled up. 14 penalties for 98 yards is what I got, Dean. 14 penalties for 98 yards. Missouri had 5 penalties for 54 yards. Their leading rusher on the day was Mr. Oscar Attaway III. He had 3 attempts for 7 yards. gained 8 yards, but then had a carry for a loss of 1. So, as college football does, they obviously count those. And sacks, that's why Lenore Sellers has negative 28 rushing yards, is because he took some pretty bad sacks. Looking at Missouri's sacks, they had 5 sacks for a loss of 46 yards. Missouri's defensive front was getting after it. Missouri's front 7 was dominant. The defensive side of the ball was never really my worry, at least with the front 7 when we're talking about that game. Obviously, containing Sellers, they did a really nice job of that. They did a really good job of containing Sellers. And they did a really good job of containing the explosive plays. And I don't want to start with the negative. We'll hit the negatives at the end of the show because there's plenty of positives to talk about from this game, guys. There's a lot of positives to talk about from this game. Connor Malone says Steller's accuracy is too bad, I think, for the pros. Struggles with the short to intermediate and on the run. Yeah, his deep ball accuracy is a little bit better than his short to intermediate accuracy, funny enough. It's like, at least what I thought watching him here. I haven't watched a ton of Lenore Sellers, only the games that he's played against Mizzou. He played pretty good against Mizzou last year. This year, I don't think he played that as well as he played last year, but I think he played better than what he has played in the games prior. David Dirks, thank you for joining me on Twitter. Hoping Reed and Nagy watched tonight's game. There's some pretty creative play calls there from Eli Drinkwitz and company on the offensive side of the ball. The 2-point conversion play that was unsuccessful was a variation of the 2-point conversion play they legitimately run all the time. It's an interesting wrinkle off of it. I think he should have pitched it to Pribula. But the direct snap to Jamal Roberts, so where he is the guy who is doing the fake pitch in there into the end zone. I think that's an interesting play call. It's not my favorite at the time. Obviously, they had the end around that could have busted for a big play at the very end of the game. I like that play call there. Tollison just misses a block. This happens, right? Those guys were on scholarship too. Fine. Whatever. I'm not getting beat up over that. Tony, I see that you think that Sellers got lucky. I think there were some things that was lucky, and I do think there are some things that he's throwing it up there, man, and he's having some of those guys track that ball and go hunt it down. That's what's happening is like his wide receivers on a lot of those deep balls. I mean, I think there was a couple that were placed really well. That first touchdown where it was a defensive offsides and it was a free play. That ball was placed really well. The other deep balls, I can't recall off the top of my head other ones that were placed incredibly well. I'm sure there were some good placements, but I think a lot of it was the wide receivers being able to track and the Chiefs defense not being able to. I said Chiefs. I meant Mizzou, sorry. The Mizzou defense, the Mizzou secondary not being able to follow those receivers tracking those balls. So it's the ball tracking really of the Missouri secondary. That's the concerning part. The secondary was struggling. I told you guys I wasn't going to talk about the secondary yet because there's plenty of good things for me to talk about. I still want to talk about the good things of this game, like how Missouri's 4-0, and they start conference play 1-0. That's incredible. That's a great place to be if you're a Missouri Tigers fan. If you're the Missouri Tigers. D-Mac Wake says Sellers got a little fortunate, but Kid also got a heck of arm talent and made some impressive throws. Yeah, 100%. I think there's a little bit of both there, D-Mac. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that, yeah. Chief says Sellers or Pribula. Bo Pribula's stat line today: 16-27, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. By far, Bo's least productive game of his Missouri career, and it's not particularly close. It's probably his least productive game. Has the interception. That interception was rough. That interception was a rough one. I just think that they were trying to go for the jugular early after getting that short punt. They had the short field, and they were trying to go for the jugular, and he just makes a bad decision. That's just what it was. And then the defense kind of gets shell-shocked super quick of just like boom, 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 big play, touchdown. And that was kind of like that was a big moment in the game. And it's so funny to think too, because like if that pass just falls incomplete, or they do complete it, right, this game looks a whole lot different. I understand the thought process there. I don't think anyone should grill. I just think that it was a kid made a good play. He threw it into double coverage, right? Maybe shouldn't have made that decision, but I'm not really too upset about that. I really wasn't even that upset about it at the time. I was annoyed by it for sure, but I don't think I was too mad about it. I don't think I was mad about the decision because it makes sense just to kind of go for the jugular there. You just dominated them. You just let me go look at the drive chart. So that was about 4 minutes left. Yes, okay. So the drive before. Yeah, okay. That drive was a 3-play drive for a loss of 19 yards. So your defense just went out there after you had just kicked a field goal. You had just kicked a field goal to, let's see, what would the score have been at that point? 9-7, right? I think so. I can't really read this drive chart. After you kicked that field goal. Oh, here we go. Chronological. That's what I wanted to see. There we go. You get touchdown, you allow the touchdown, and then you kick the field goal. And then you force the punt. 9-7. Yes, thank you, Dean. You have that big drive from the defense, loss of 19 yards. And then you take over on their 46-yard line. So you are already in prime striking distance. I understand the thought process of like, hey, let's go for it here. We're up 9-7. We get a touchdown here. We make it 15 or 15, 16, 17 if you wanted to go for 2. But their rushing attack was humming, guys. And like we've gone 16 minutes into the show and not mentioned, well, that's not true. We talked about the rushing totals. But we've gone 16 minutes and haven't even mentioned Ahmad Hardy's insane day that he's had. Ahmad Hardy, again, with another 100-yard rushing game. 22 carries, 138 yards. They kind of pulled him in the back half there to let Jamal Roberts take a lot of those carries in the back end. I wonder if that's for preservation for Hardy or if they trust Jamal with like not fumbling more. I think I could be wrong on this. I need to double check this. Did chat check me on this? Did Ahmad Hardy have a fumble earlier this year? Or am I making... I think it was a fumble, but he fell on it. I don't think it was a lost fumble. Everwine B says, I think it's a ball security thing, too. That was my first thought when I saw that they were doing that. That he is... Look, the dude's 19 years old. That's a 19-year-old kid. He's a sophomore. That's insane. He's so good. He is so good. Yeah, okay. Yes, he had a couple. One got overturned. Yes. Okay, so... I vaguely remembered him losing the football a couple of times. Maybe they weren't lost, maybe not. But Roberts does come in. He ices the game. I think before that he only had like 40 some yards. I remember looking at the numbers because I was kind of keeping an eye on how the numbers were going for Hardy, because I was like, man, is he gonna get close to 200 again? Because the way he's running the football, man, like he was running that football. And then Roberts came in. I think he had 46 yards. So I think he gained about 30 yards on the last few carries. Sean Kurtz says, if only Hardy was draft eligible, I think Reed should get this kid. He should get this kid next year or the year after. I think, no, it's 2 more years? This year and I guess next. Yeah. Backfield Townsend saying, D-Max says, I think the most telling thing about this run game plus quarterback plus weapons plus OC is I can't remember the last time I felt this good about our offense starting from our own one. That 99-yard drive was impressive. Yeah, dude, they just like score from the 1-yard line. If they start, they're just going to score. And that is like insane. That's not normal. And that 99-yard drive, again, I'm glad you brought this up, D-Mac. That 99-yard drive was showcasing every single way that this Mizzou offense can hurt you and like just bleed you. Running the football, the precise accuracy from Bo. I think there might have been a scramble in that drive as well. Let me see if I can hunt that play chart down for those drives. I just literally everything. I think Brett Nortfleet had a really big catch in that drive too. So it was tight ends. It was Marquise Johnson. It was Kevin Coleman. All of those guys getting involved, and that just showcased how the Missouri offense is so dynamic and can beat you. Obviously, running the football is going to be the big thing, and it should be the big thing for this team because, boy, howdy, they got two guys that can absolutely tote the rock. Marquise Johnson led the team with 80 receiving yards, 7 catches for him on the day, targeted 9 times. Couldn't really get Kevin Coleman going. Couldn't really. And that's... Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, right? We know that with Luther Burden. Sean Kurtz has 3 99-yard drives. This season is crazy. 100%. 100%. Scott also mentions that same thing. Shout out, Scott. Thank you to everyone hanging out with me in the chat. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure to follow. I'll be doing more Mizzou content and Chiefs stuff as well. Mizzou and Chiefs for you. Yes, that was MJ one hand, Norfleet sideline, bow dime, design, run, play, scramble. Yes, DMAC, it showcased legitimately everything that Missouri can do. And that is, if you want to show one drive to anyone to be like, oh, how good is actually this Missouri team, that's your one. That is your one. And they're playing a real brand of SEC football right now, guys. I mean, they are running the football like nobody's business. You're talking about, let me see here. Let me see the attempts. Let me see the attempts. The attempts is what I'm looking for here. Oh, comparison. So I got to go to. Rushing attempts. 48 rushing attempts. 48 rushing attempts compared to 27 pass attempts. This is anti-Chiefs football. This is the opposite of Chiefs football. Holy shit, Michael. 63-10 Indiana right now? Holy shit. That's the first I've seen that score. Run the damn ball for sure. It is... You got to run that ball. And when you got 2 guys like they have, really 3. They've had 3 guys go for 100-yard games. Think about that. They're like about 3 guys. 3 guys that have had 100-yard games already this season. UMass next week. We'll see how that goes. Missouri was 6 for 6 in the red zone. Now, that does include, like, field goals. So they had 3 field goals, so they're really 3 for 6. Let's call it 3 for 6, guys. We hold ourselves to a higher standard. We don't need to hold ourselves down to that standard of what they're doing with 6 for 6 in the red zone. Really impressive game, guys. I really appreciate everyone hanging out with me here. I'm going to run through some of these stats as well. I'm just looking at some of these stats, man, that just jump off the page. The way that Missouri's defense was able to get after the quarterback. And I saw somebody in the chat say this. I think it was Sean. Yeah, Sean Kurtz says dominating both lines of scrimmage, and I think that's absolutely huge. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely massive. Oh, dude, did you guys notice that, like, they weren't with their best offensive lineman on the team? That's crazy, right? Like, they were legitimately missing their best offensive lineman, and guys, I don't know if I noticed. Maybe I wasn't looking close enough. If it was a problem, I probably would have noticed, but I really didn't. DMAC, I was nervous without Green and saying they had this game without him. 100%. I mean, look, let's be fair to the guy, to Richardson, who they put in there. Big-ass dude. He's like 6'6", 320 or something like that. Let me look it up. That is a hoss. That is a absolute hoss. Javen Richardson. They have him at the University of Missouri website, 6'6", 313. I mean, that dude, that's a bad man. That's a bad man. Everyone B says, I think we noticed we had one less guy running routes. I did notice that they kept Norfleet in, not necessarily in, but they used a lot of help on Dylan Stewart is specifically who they were putting Norfleet on over on his side, because I think they do like field and the field and boundary is kind of like what Mizzou does as well, is what I was noticing with Dylan Stewart, and he was ineffective in this game. Guys, Dylan Stewart is going to be rushing the passer on Sundays. He was pretty ineffective in this game. Let me see. Let me double check this. Okay, they did. So South Carolina ends up with 3 tackles for loss. I have to think that a lot of those came within the last 2 drives that Missouri had, because I looked about midway through. It might have been early fourth quarter, and they had none. Like, Missouri was gaining positive yardage on literally every play. They had no tackles for loss. Missouri was dominating. I mean, look, guys, this 4th game of the year. This is the 4th game of the year they've absolutely dominated the stat sheet and dominated yardage and, like, moving the football. This team does not have a problem moving the football, which, I see the light. I see the light. This team does not have a problem moving the football. Crazy. Mizzou defense has given up almost minus 20 yards in the last 2 games. Here's something I do want to talk about with the secondary. Look, there's still good things I want to talk about, actually. No, I'm not going to bring that up yet. I changed my mind. I'm not bringing that up yet. Shout out to Josh Manning, Lee Summit guy, getting in the end zone.
Hell yeah!
Love to see Josh Manning out there. Man, that kid, I love what Josh Manning does. I love him out there on the field. What he does when he doesn't have the ball in his hands is something that an NFL team is going to love. And when he does get the ball in his hands, he's pretty damn dynamic as well. So that's the other team. Isaac Lieberman, South Carolina with 22 rushing attempts for minus 9 yards. When was the last time someone did that against an SEC team? That's a great point, Isaac. This is an SEC offense. This is an offense that has, coming into the year, a Heisman favorite. Coming into the year, this was a playoff team. Coming into the year, this was a quarterback that was 1-1. You're talking about this guy going 1 overall. Now, things have changed in the first 4 weeks of the season. It's still an SEC ball club. Those are still SEC bodies. Those are still SEC scholarships over there. That's an impressive thing that Missouri just did. They did not let an SEC team run the football. James, you're right. They'll say Mizzou still hasn't played anyone. Chat, let me know what you guys think about this. That broadcast was insane. That broadcast was so incredibly frustrating to me. That broadcast could not stop talking about Lenora Sellers. I understand, like, the Sellers build and the Sellers hype. What has he done? What has he done this season for you to talk about him as much as you're talking about him? It seemed like the halftime show was, oh my gosh, that halftime show was brutal. They talked about everything except the Missouri game. Those guys at the halftime show talked about everything in the Missouri game. Leading into the game, he had one guy say that good thing DJ Lagway was back. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? They still haven't fixed the Missouri logo? Yeah, I mean, it just still feels like Missouri, even though they have a 25-5 record. Is that what it is? Is that what it is, guys? 25-5 in the last 3 years or something like that? I saw someone drop it in the chat early. They've got one of the best records in college football the past 3 seasons. No one wants to talk about the Missouri Tigers. Bo Pribula's playing insanely good football. I know his numbers weren't off the charts today. He played good football today. He made good decisions outside of the one interception. That was early in the game. That's the only thing. 25, Dean Bryant, 5-5. Yeah, since the start of 2023. This team is 25-5, and they can't stop talking about the other quarterback. They are in Columbia, Missouri, guys. They are in Columbia, Missouri, and they couldn't stop talking about South Carolina. They could not stop talking about the quarterback on the other sideline. It's frustrating. I mean, look, the Missouri program, it has to, I guess they got to prove more. I mean, something to prove, right? That's the whole motto. I don't know what more they got to prove, guys. I really don't. I don't know what more these guys got to prove before they start getting some national attention. I know the spread was like 9.5 or something like that. They win by 9, so I don't necessarily cover. I guess it depends on what book you're playing. I hope you're playing with DraftKings Sportsbook, which I got to tell you guys about here in a second. That reminded me. But, man, this team has found a way to win football games, winning SEC football games. They've beaten Ohio State. They've beaten Iowa in bowl games. If they beat Bama, Jody, shout out. Thanks for joining us here. Jody, if they beat Bama, man, that's probably what's going to have to happen. They're going to have to beat Bama before anyone starts to notice. Noticing something that we've noticed for a long time about this Missouri Tigers football team is that they are damn good. This is a damn good football team. They like to raise my blood pressure. I'll tell you that. They like to raise my blood pressure. Life over death. Missouri is the last SEC team to beat Ohio State. Yeah. Oh, Jody, you're 100% right. I think you're 100% right, Jody. I 100% agree with you. That's why I put you up there. I think that is the only way that they get respect is if they beat Bama. That's it. And here's what's really shitty about this, guys. What's really shitty is that, like, if they lose to Bama, people go back to ignoring them, even though they shouldn't. But I think this team can beat Alabama. I do. I think this team can beat Alabama. I don't think this is a middling SEC team. I think this is a team that can compete for the SEC title, truthfully. This team looks damn good right now. This team looks damn good. They're resilient. They can battle through adversity. I like what I've seen. I like what I've seen. Is Missouri a favorite at home against Alabama? I mean, it's going to depend on what they do, right? But, like, let me look real quick. Last time, James Kosar, last time I saw ESPN have Mizzou favored over Bama, that was 2 weeks ago. Yes, Connor, great point. We do have, the Missouri has UMass and then a bye. Don't fucking lose to UMass. Excuse my language. So before the Missouri game, they play Georgia and Vandy. They're off this weekend. They played Georgia and Vandy. Well, they're not going to take the Vandy game lightly. Probably not, but probably not going to take that lightly. Yeah, Vandy is an 11 a.m. game. Can you believe that? Or not Vandy. Alabama is an 11 a.m. game, Michael. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what it is. I wish they could move it because that game could be pretty big. And honestly, that could be we don't have to play this game right now just because it's like 3 weeks away. But that could be a game where we see College Game Day at. I need that Bama game at 11 because I want to watch it before a wedding. Hell yeah, Connor.
Hell yeah.
Shout out, congrats. Congrats, Connor, on your wedding.
Hell yeah.
I'll even give you one more.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate everyone hanging out here as we're talk a little bit longer here about Mizzou, South Carolina. I do got to pay some bills, though. I got to pay some bills, guys, so I appreciate you hanging out with me. Bear with me here as I am calling all Chiefs fans. Look, we got a great opportunity for you guys. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter for a chance to win, or enter for a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. I also got to tell you about our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, I know a lot of you guys probably are in Missouri, right? We're watching the Missouri Tigers show. We're talking about the Missouri Tigers, and you already know the wait is almost over for DraftKings Sportsbook here, America's top-rated sportsbook. It's coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. And DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day. Live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone, and probably all right from Faroe Field as well. When we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. It's safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code KCSN to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. Thank you for letting me pay those bills as well. Appreciate you guys letting me pay the bills as we are rolling here on a Mizzou, South Carolina postgame show. I am going to take I'm going to take a break because I got to house this beer real quick. I'm going to house this beer, and then I will be back with you guys on the other side. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about the secondary next, and we're going to be talking about Ahmad. We still got to talk about Ahmad Hardy because that dude's insane. That dude is so good, and I'll be looking at what the Missouri Tigers are saying at the podium as well. So let me take a quick break. Let me regroup. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's why I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with me and sticking with me through the other side of paying some bills. Appreciate you guys. A couple things from Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou, at Power Mizzou.com on Twitter. He says Eli Drinkwitz said Caden Green was injured in Wednesday's practice, participated in the walkthrough on Thursday, got an MRI, decided the best plan was to get a minor procedure on Friday, and he should return as soon as he possibly can. Says it's likely 3 to 5 weeks. Interesting. He was in a walking boot there. Was in a walking boot as well. Eli Drinkwitz also on Ahmad Hardy. I didn't think he was going to be this good. Let's be honest. Yeah, guys, that was his first SEC game. His first SEC game, Ahmad Hardy goes out there, and he runs for 138 yards on 22 carries. Insane. Insane. Drinkwitz also says, when we watch film tomorrow, I'm going to be on some secondary coaches. This is getting out of hand. Our stats and our numbers and our time of possession is dominating, and yet the scoreboard is not. That's because we're giving up explosive plays. 100%. That is 100%. That is 100% what's going on. Obviously, he knows that because he's the head football coach of the team, right? But if Missouri can start limiting the explosive plays, this team is going to go to heights that a Missouri team has never been before. I'll say it. Sean Kurtz wants to know, hey, Tucker, when can we start the Ahmad Hardy Heisman campaign? Probably right now. Let me FBS. I doubt that this is uploaded or updated. Might have to look at this tomorrow. For FBS rushing yards. 462, 3. Yeah, okay, it's not updated. What was Stephen Hall doing on that deep ball? I got no clue, Stephen. I got no clue. I wonder if he just like didn't know where the ball was. Like that's what it looked like. He had no idea where the ball was. And that goes back to my point that I made earlier. It's that a lot of these are guys getting lost in the sauce. They're just getting lost and not tracking the football. And that's what I think is it's kind of so frustrating, is that it feels like it's preventable. It really feels like it's preventable. And at least it's a coachable thing, I guess. It's a coachable thing. They got to figure out the big plays. As I was tweeting out during the game, let me look at the final total here, because this should tell me their big plays. South Carolina South Carolina big plays. They had 8 big plays of 15 or more. So 8 times the South Carolina offense was able to muster a passing play of more than 15 yards. DMAC says the front is good enough to put a cap on the back end and limit the big plays. The front is insane. Like, the front might be hyperbolic. It might be one of the best fronts in the nation. It's really good. It's really good, guys. It's really good. Scott Vansel said Green will be ready for Alabama. That'll be sick. That'd be sick to get him back for that game. Looking for this at these big plays, I said 8, right? 8 big-time passing plays of 15 or more yards. They had 20 yards, 49 yards, 15, 15, 24, 43, 32, 33 were those 8 plays. 231 yards in big plays. Overall on the night, South Carolina had only 293 yards of offense. So if you take their percentage of big those big plays, that big play yardage, 231 out of their total offense, 78% of their offense, 78.8% of their offense was big plays. Big plays. You can't, you have to limit. If this team wants to do things that Missouri has never done, they have to limit the big plays. They cannot have 8 explosive plays. You can't. Scott Vansel, 2 plays before Hall gave up the touchdown, the linebacker dropped a wide open interception. Sellers threw it right to him. That play should have never happened. And then throw Trotter's dumb taunting penalty. 100%. Self-inflicted wounds. They have to be better at that. They didn't get a takeaway today, I don't believe. Missouri got a takeaway today. Off the top of my head, no, they didn't. Missouri did have that 1 interception, as I mentioned. So they lose the turnover battle, actually, in this. Campbell Cooks, shout out. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Jace Hare says, when was the last time a Mizzou team went 5-0? That's a good question. We could do a live lookup. On this here show. I don't know the last time a Mizzou team went 5-0. Eli Drinkwitz's also at the podium said this can either be a highlight or a launching point for us. Great point. Great point from Eli there. Highlight or a launching point. He's good. He's pretty good at the podium, isn't he, guys? It was pretty terrible game discipline, Garen. You're right. Pretty terrible game discipline from South Carolina when you look at their penalties. I mean, 14 penalties for 98 yards. Especially when you only have 293 yards of total offense. You can't be giving that up like that. This game should not have been close as it was. I keep looking at the yard, like how Missouri dominated this game on like the field, but did not dominate on the scoreboard. And that's a little frustrating. And that is because of those bad plays. Dean, yeah, that's a great point. 2023, they started 5-0. 2023, they started 5-0. 7 for 13 for Missouri on third downs. This is also a big stat. Missouri's been really good. Missouri's defense has been really good on getting off the field on third downs. Only 3 of 11 for South Carolina on third down. Post-game interviews, I believe, have happened or are currently happened, Garen. They are currently happening or have happened. I'm following them on Twitter. We're talking about things. We're chatting about things as they happen. Live reaction show. A lot of people in my Twitter mentions wish that Ahmad Hardy was the Kansas City Chiefs running back. Guys, I got bad news. He might not be around by the time the Chiefs pick. He might be a first round talent, and you don't say that about a running back a whole lot. Glad to see that Drink and the boys aren't satisfied. Bo Pribula, Robbie Meyer, ice in his veins. Robbie, I like Robbie instead of Robert, truthfully. Shout out to him. Shout out to Robbie. Oh gosh, we got a video. Oh, Chad, I think we might have to live watch this on the pod. Live watch this on the stream. There's a Mizzou video out there. SEC officiating also just tweeted out a statement about the Oklahoma-Auburn game. Yeah, they're saying they should have thrown the flag. Yeah, they probably should have. I think we all agree on that, right? If you guys were watching that. Miami ends up beating Florida. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts. Ahmad Hardy again. Great game. Jack S. says Cody Schrader was supposed to be difficult to replace. Right. Look, Missouri has kept reloading at running back. They've kept getting guys at running back. And really, Missouri's running backs have been dogs for a long time. They have had dogs at that running back position, well, since Eli Drinkwitz has been here. But even going back, like Henry Josie, dog. Henry Josie was the first one that came to my mind. Tony Temple, dog. They got all kinds of dogs on this team. Missouri 2 for 5 on deep passing over 15 yards. 7 or 9 for medium passing, 6 or 9 for short passes. 15 big plays for Missouri. I talk about the Mizzou or the South Carolina big plays. Well, you're right, Sean. Carroll and Noel didn't light up the scoreboard. I mean, they're not as good as these guys are, but like I still think they were pretty solid. I think they're still pretty solid backs. Ray, we talked about this at the top of the show. I think we've speculated here collectively in the chat. We have speculated that Hardy was not playing because of ball security. They wanted a guy that they could trust with the football. Hardy's had a couple of loose balls, and Jamal Roberts, older, more experienced, has been around the offense, can maybe hold on to the football a little bit better. We think that's what we think was going on, or they wanted to keep him fresh. I don't know. Sean, would you say Mizzou has the best 1-2 running back tandem, or is that still Notre Dame? That's a good question, man. Jeremiah Love, dynamic running back. Appreciate you, Ray. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Pretty dynamic running back Jeremiah Love is. I couldn't tell you who their second running back is, though. I couldn't tell you. Penn State, they do have got a good one, too. Shout out D-Mac. Eli's ability to close out games is beginning to impress me. Yeah, there was a little bit of a shaky time there. He's actually gotten a lot better at late game management. I want to give Eli credit for that. He's been a lot better at late game management. Scott Vance, the Chiefs should try and hire Curtis Looper. He can both identify and develop running backs from Schrader to Hardy to the number 2 running back in the SEC is Ole Miss Kawan Lacey. That's right. I forgot they had flirted about, I think he flipped to Mizzou when he committed to Mizzou originally, or flipped from Ole Miss to Mizzou is what I'm saying. So he was always kind of like with Ole Miss. Yeah, Kawan Lacey, 22 right now in rushing yardage. This is coming into the week. These numbers aren't updated right now that I have. Back to the big plays for the Missouri offense. 11 rushes of over 10 yards. 4 pass plays of over 15 yards. In total, they gained, they gained about 274 yards of their offense was gained on big plays. It's a little bit easier to have a big play on the ground, obviously, with it only being 10 yards. But, I mean, you're looking at 11 rushes of 10 yards or more. Only one of them being a touchdown. That's kind of crazy, guys. That's a kind of a crazy stat to think about. They had 11 rushes of 10 yards or more, and only one of them was a touchdown. So, I know we talked about this, too, a little bit with their yards per carry. Missouri ends with a 5.9 yards per carry. Look, some of that gets a little bit construed with the last little drive. Whatever, who cares? But like they were averaging about like 6.6 yards per carry, like when it mattered, like when the game was going on, and it was kind of late. They were still averaging about 6.6 yards per carry. So I think that's great to see. 10.7 yards per completion, too, by the way, for the Missouri offense. Campbell Cooks, shout out Campbell Cooks. Appreciate you guys. Who is the best Heisman chance, Hardy or Pribula? I don't think Pribula's day today isn't going to be the stat sheet day that a lot of people are going to like harken back, like are going to go back to like, oh yeah, look what he did against South Carolina. As I mentioned, his stats today, pretty pedestrian, 16 to 27, 171 yards, touchdown and a pick. I mean, that's a good day. That's a good day for a quarterback. I think he did a really good job managing the game. He did a really good job running the offense. He did a really good job. That's right, Jadarian Price. That's who it is. Thank you for that. He did a really good job doing what he needed to do. Right? He made that one misread on the interception. Other than that, I don't know if you can pick a whole lot apart. He probably needs to learn how to slide. Probably needs to learn how to slide a little bit more. A little bit better. I thought he was out there for a second when that targeting was thrown. Probably should have been targeting. Officiating was not great today, by the way. Boy, howdy, was not officiating not great. But only 16 of 27 for 171 yards, 59% completion percentage. Like, that's probably not going to be... You want to look at the game like this and be like, wow, he played a really good game. So I do think it's Ahmad Hardy, especially when you look at his 138 yards on 22 carries. Now, this is back-to-back weeks where he's had 22 carries. Touchdown for him. Looks good, man. I mean, it looks good. Michael Leedy, I honestly thought with the returners and transfers that the secondary was going to be a strong point. Yeah, secondary was always one of the things that they were really after the secondary this offseason. They were really trying to fill some holes that they needed in the secondary. And I was a little bit worried about the secondary, truthfully, because they had some returners coming back that weren't necessarily my favorite last year, right? When they did get on the field. So that was a concern to me. But they have they have guys on their team that's played a lot of football. Like, they've got guys that have played college football for a while. They should know what's going on. They should know what to do. They got to get that fixed. If there's one negative thing you take away from this game, it is the big plays in the secondary. Missouri's front seven is too good for the secondary to be this bad. It is. I mean, that's as simple as it goes. Sometimes there's got to have to be some coverage sacks, right? Sometimes you're going to have to cover guys. Sometimes those guys can't get home. You can't blitz every play. I'll be interested to see how that adjusts. That's got to be a big point for every team who scouts this Missouri Tigers team coming up. They're going to want to throw that ball deep, right? That is going to be the thing. They're going to want to throw the ball deep. How do they adjust? How do they adjust when Alabama comes to town in 3 weeks? When they're going to want to throw it to Ryan Williams. They're going to want to get the ball to that guy. And they're going to do? They're just going to say, you know what? We'll just YOLO it deep. Let him go get it, because he can obviously track the ball a lot better than those D-backs can. And we'll see what happens. They got to fix that. Michael said it. Yeah, Bama has a better wide receiver. Will need to be a big turnaround. It's got to be. It has to be a huge focus going into that game. Look, Nick Harbor was Nick Harbor was ineffective today, and Nick Harbor I think is a phenomenal wide receiver. I think Nick Harbor is an NFL wide receiver, and I would like him to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. He had, let's see, let me make sure I'm getting this right. He was targeted 5 times, had 45 yards on 3 catches. And one of those catches was 33 yards. One of those catches was 33 yards. Ray Bozar said, can that be fixed? I think so. I think it can. I think it can. Danny Ragland says secondary to scheme problems that are fixable. They're not getting picked apart. A lot of those deep plays too, a lot of the big plays was there's a lot of time. That's like when Sellers was making things on it, like rolling out or like scrambling to buy some time is what I was looking for. That's when Sellers was buying some time. Then he was able to find the guys deep on a few of those. Some of them he's just YOLO, you know. I mean, there's one that's those couple of those free plays. They just let him rip, man, and like those guys just went and got the ball. They play D-back for a reason, right? If they could catch the ball, I think they'd be on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see. Supporting Truth says Mizzou hasn't played their best game yet. You know what? I agree. They've played well, but I don't think they've played their best game. There's still been like, let's talk about ULL. Let's talk about Louisiana. They allowed a big rush, right? An explosive play. They allowed that. UCA, the offensive line, forgot how to play football there for a drive and a half. And Kansas, they shot themselves in the foot very early in the game, got down 21-6. There's not been a game where, I mean, outside on the scoreboard, they were just a more talented team, right, than Louisiana. So like that game looks, but I mean, I don't think they've played their best, and I think there's plenty of room for this team to improve. So I think that's a positive thing going into this. Scheme-wise, we'll see how they go out. I see you guys in the chat, Sean and Steven talking about more too high, or Steven talking about more too high. Sean says Sellers ended the game with a 16.7 yards per completion. At one point, he was averaging over 20 yards of completion. That's not ideal, but we do need to be stronger on sacks because Sellers escaped a lot. Yeah, I mean that Sellers is good. I don't want you. I know that I've spent this time saying like I don't think Sellers is the 1-1 quarterback, and I don't think he's like the Heisman favorite anymore. He's still a good football player. Like he's still a top quarterback in the SEC. Not the top, but he's a top quarterback in the SEC. So I'm shrugging. For the people who listen to the show afterwards, I'm shrugging. I mean, I think they did good on Sellers. They didn't let him escape. They contained him well. They've been doing pretty good as of late against mobile quarterbacks. I like what I've seen there. Now, what's his name? Tyler Warren? Is that his name? No, not Tyler Warren. Ty Simpson? Not much of a mobile guy, I don't think. That'll be a different story. That'll be a different story for him. But that's still 3 weeks away. We got plenty of time to talk about that. Ray Bozar said, is Meyer our guy, or can we do like an open tryout or bring in someone from UCLA or Val-Tech? I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if they can do mids. I know that like the portal opens 30 days after a coach gets fired, but mid-season? I don't think it's like free agency where they can just like transfer and enroll and then just play. I don't think it works like that. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know the rules. Does anybody know the rules? I don't know if the coaches know the rules. I don't know if anybody knows the rules, actually. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here late on a Saturday night. So we are winding down here the Mizzou That 2 post-game show. I'm sure the Power Mizzou guys are going to be going live here soon. So if you want to still you want some more Mizzou content, obviously you'll go to Power Mizzou. Those guys are A1. Love Gabe. Damn. Mizzou football just tweeted out a hard picture of Bo Pribula. That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback. I got quote tweet that. Live tweet here. That's my quarterback. Feels good to have a quarterback like that, guys. I tell you what. You're right, Danny. I did not drink as many as I drank after KU. I was at Holiday Distillery. They're just giving those things away. I was supposed to say no. I was supposed to say no to that. Bo does know, D-Mac. Bo hella knows. I think he has like an NIL store too with Breaking Tea where you can get a Bo Knows shirt. It kind of goes hard, and I think I'm probably going to have to buy it. I'm probably going to have to buy it. That pick is hard. It is a very hard pick. Shout out, Bo. The Missouri football Twitter account has been tweeting all their pictures in black and white because there was a blackout. It was obviously a blackout game today. Which also, shout out to the Missouri Athletic Department for changing this game from a whiteout to a blackout. Hell yeah, dude. I'll give you one of those.
Hell yeah!
That's awesome. I'm glad that they're listening. Glad that the Missouri Athletic Department is listening to the fans. God, that's so sick. That's so sick. Yeah, D-Mac, those shirts are insane. They're just like the Bo Knows shirts, but Mizzou branding. I think it goes to like his pocket. I think the money thing goes to his pocket, which that's a cause I'll get behind. Give him all, I don't care how much he costs. I don't care how much Bo costs. Bring him to me. Oh, Caden Salter kind of dealing right now. Kind of dealing right now. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with me again on a late Saturday night. If you are wanting more Mizzou content, the Power Mizzou stream, I just saw it, just came up. 10:45. Those guys will be live then. Go hang out with them. If you are still wanting some Mizzou content, all kinds of stuff. Missouri wins 29-20. They beat South Carolina. AP poll will come out tomorrow. Let me look. Let me give a prediction of where I think that the Missouri Tigers will end up in the AP poll. Do you think they'll fall spots because they won? The Missouri Tigers might fall spots because they won. It was because they didn't cover. So we have to the Missouri disrespect might be thick tomorrow, guys. I don't know, guys. I think the Missouri disrespect might be thick. I'm not about it anymore. I'm getting a little bit, frankly, fed up with it. I'm getting frankly fed up with the Missouri disrespect. Yeah, Illinois got smoked. Illinois should. You know what they did to South Carolina, D-Mac? What they did to South Carolina last week is what they should do with Illinois this week. See ya. It doesn't have any of the results here. Yeah, they got shellacked. That is true. Missouri should they'll be ahead of Auburn. Auburn lost today. Michigan won. Did Vandy win? Vandy win, chat. Indiana won. Georgia Tech. Oh, Utah lost. Utah will fall out. That'll be at least 2 spots that go up. Illinois lost. Okay, so those 3. Or Georgia, Miami. Miami didn't look very good, but I don't think they'll jump. LSU, yeah, okay. I'm gonna say they go up 3 spots. So I think they'll be top. I'll say 19. I'm going to say 19. I'm calling my shot. I think Mizzou's going to be 19 on the AP poll. We'll tweet it out when it does at KCSN Mizzou. Make sure to follow us there. Follow us there at KCSN Mizzou. Do appreciate you guys joining me here on the Mizzou That's Who podcast. If you're watching this on Twitter, make sure to follow me for more Mizzou and Chiefs updates as well. I do a little bit of both on there. We will have, we've got a good episode planned for you guys. It's going to be a little bit earlier in the week this week, homecoming week with Missouri and UMass. Got a good guest on the docket. We'll see if we can get a confirmation, but we got a good guest on the docket. I'll give you that hint for Missouri homecoming week. A guy who recently made a homecoming. That's the only hint I'm giving you. That is the only hint that I'm giving you. So that's going to do it. For the Mizzou That's Who Postgame Show, I'm Tucker Franklin. Thank you guys all so much. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. Follow us at KCSN Mizzou. The Missouri Tigers win. It's a good day. It's a good day to be a Missouri Tiger. They are 4-0 heading into UMass and then a bye week. And then the University of Alabama comes to town. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tucker Franklin. I will see you guys on the next one with Maggie Johnson. Appreciate you guys. MIZ.